Tonight, the Cops for Cancer Tour de North fundraising event kicks off today. Plus, the PGSO's final concert is coming up on Sunday, dedicated to all the victims from the Highway of Tears. And the Prince George Cougars keep their playoff hopes alive with a big win in Portland. Good evening and welcome to the CKPG News at 5. I'm Adam Burles. Eddie is off tonight. It was just a sample of the riders who will be pedaling more than 800 kilometers to raise funds for research into pediatric cancer. The Tour de North is about to ride its 23rd trip. Cheryl Jan reports.
One more big round of applause for all these riders.
Cyclists from around the region, even one from Vancouver Island, converged on Quinson Elementary School, where the students were decked out with signs and yellow pom-poms to welcome the Tour de North. And the Tour de North has an interesting history.
It all started with a law enforcement officer from Edmonton, actually, and his name is Gary Goulet. He met this young boy named Lyle, who unfortunately was diagnosed with cancer, and Lyle was getting bullied at school because obviously he had lost his hair due to the treatment he was on, and Gary found out about this. He wanted to make sure everyone knew it was totally okay to be bald, there was nothing wrong with it, so he got all of his police officer friends together and raise money to shave their heads, and that's kind of where it all began.
Come September, 16 riders will be biking more than 800 kilometers from Dawson Creek to Williams Lake to raise money for a very special cause: childhood cancer.
I've recruited a couple of them. I work hard to try to get the numbers up. It's the more the merrier. The more riders we can get, obviously, the more funds we can raise for the kids. 200,000 is our goal for the North. We've done quite well over the last few years, and looking forward to the support of the communities again.
And the ultimate goal is to raise funds for pediatric research or some time here, a place called Camp Good Times.
It's for children to attend that are either dealing with cancer or have dealt with cancer, and their families and their siblings are allowed to go there as well, and it's just a place for them to be kids again. It's got the full support of medical if they need it, but it's just an opportunity for families to get together that are all experiencing the same problems and dealing with the same issues in life, and just allows kids to be kids.
Last year alone, more than 1,000 kids in Canada up to the age of 14 were diagnosed with cancer. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
The Prince George Symphony Orchestra's final performance of the season is coming up this Sunday, which is also National Red Dress Day. To honor the day, the PGSO is dedicating its performance to the victims of the Highway of Tears. Tommy Osborne brings us more on the program and its connection to National Red Dress Day.
The Prince George Symphony Orchestra is wrapping up its 2023-24 season this Sunday with a performance that's about more than just music. To honor National Red Dress Day, the PGSO is dedicating its performance to the victims of the Highway of Tears.
For the Prince George Symphony to step up and to partner with the Red Dress Society to put this performance on and in honor, it's great, because I've always said a community is not geographically where you live, it's a feeling of belonging.
Maisie says she doesn't know what the solution to the missing and murdered Indigenous woman is, but she does know that raising awareness and creating conversation through events like the PGSO's concert can go a long way towards preventing even more tragedies.
We get an opportunity to have these conversations with children, and it's astonishing how many children really don't know about the red dress and what it's about. And I really think that the more that we educate our up-and-coming leaders and have that knowledge, they have that opportunity to make a different decision.
The music selected reflects the importance of National Red Dress Day, as the program consists of a piece named My Name is Amanda Todd by Canadian composer Janice Morlock, Foray's Requiem, and Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. The pieces represent both the tragedy of the situation, but also optimism that we can make the situation better together.
It makes you sort of think about other young people, other young performers, young people in this world who have a real hopeful future. So I think the whole thing sort of ties in as far as this idea of youth and of hopefulness.
The Amanda Todd piece highlights another aspect of the tragedy of losing women, as Hall explains the music hopes to reflect the dangers of social media and the serious threat that poses.
There's a moment where there's all sorts of different parts happening almost like a cacophony, like kind of together. And it represents how in social media, when something kind of gets written and people take it and run with it, and then it just becomes as a bunch of noise. And that's also what's reflected in the piece.
The PGSO's final performance of the season will take place on Sunday, May 5th at Vanier Hall, with performances at 2 and 4 p.m. Tommy Osborne, CKPG News.
To mark National Red Dress Day, there is an important event taking place this weekend to remember the missing and murdered Indigenous women along what is known as the Highway of Tears. Mr. PG is holding the red dress flag on the eve of an event taking place this Sunday. That's when there will be a vigil to remember the many women who have gone missing or have been murdered along Highway 16, referred to as the Highway of Tears.
The Red Dress campaign is a campaign to bring awareness to our murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls, along with all women and girls. It brings awareness and it helps educate people, right, to be safe. The significance of the dress, we stand at the monument. It's called the stand-in, where we hold an empty red dress. That red dress symbolizes a life taken, right? My childhood best friend should be here and she's not. So as I hold that red dress, I'm not only honoring her life and legacy, but I'm ensuring that she's not forgotten and I'm giving her a voice.
École Lac des Bois unveiled a cultural project on their school grounds today, an outdoor walking story showcasing an ancestral Déketh legend. The panels displayed outdoors serve as a conduit between past and present, providing visitors with access to a website featuring audio recordings in Déketh, English, and French. The project was crafted through collaboration with École Lac des Bois staff, Indigenous education workers, SD 57 Indigenous Education, and the guidance of the Lheidli First Nation. Smoke filled the skies of downtown Prince George as a brush fire started in the walking trails behind Carrie Jane Gray Park on Thursday. Witnesses report that the fire started just before 6 p.m. Crews from two halls quickly doused the blaze by 7 p.m. Prince George has yet to release the cause of the fire or whether anyone was injured. All compatible cell phones, including radio and television broadcasts in BC, will receive an emergency alert test message at 10:55 a.m. on Wednesday, May 8th. The province says the test will assess the system's readiness ahead of an actual emergency and find if any adjustments are needed. Citizens are urged to not call 911 for information about the test, as it could delay help for people in crisis. And you can check BC Government News for more information. A cast of characters turned up at the University Hospital of Northern BC today to provide some excitement for kids in the pediatrics ward of the hospital.
In a galaxy far, far away, Captain Rex the clone trooper, a Jedi Knight, an Imperial officer, and a Jawa descended on a little place known as Nicholas's Room at University Hospital of Northern BC a day before May the 4th.
Mostly just seeing all the characters is really cool and stuff.
Of course, Luke Skywalker is 12-year-old Nicholas's favorite Star Wars persona. How could it not be, really?
I don't know too much about Star Wars, but I really like I think it's a really cool movie. It's creative, I feel like.
In fact, he has started building Star Wars characters out of Lego.
I just started building those Legos actually right when I came in the hospital, so I might start looking into Star Wars stuff and, yeah, getting into it a little bit more. My friend is really into it, so.
Nicholas's mom, Brenda, says it's a nice perk for an otherwise trying circumstance.
The day passes very slowly in here, so this is great. And I think it's inspired us to watch some movies.
And for those who descended on the galaxy far, far away, it's a good feeling.
It's heartwarming. It's inspiring. It makes me want to do this all the time. I could, making somebody happy by doing so very little, it just thrills you. It gives you such a feeling of gratitude. I get to do this.
May the 4th be with you. Cheryl Jan, CKPG News.
This week on Entertainment Spotlight, we are highlighting a new action comedy, The Fall Guy, starring Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt.
Okay, I'm not the hero of this story. I'm just a stunt guy. trying to look cool in front of the director of this movie. That's her, who I just so happen to have a major crush on.
This promises to be just a straight-up fun and entertaining movie. As for the plot, after leaving the business 1 year earlier, battle-scarred stuntman Colt Seaver springs back into action when the star of a big studio movie suddenly disappears.
Tom?
Full disclosure, he has fallen in with some shady people.
Just checking in on you.
And they're not gonna like you sniffing around.
I'm just a stunt guy!
As the mystery surrounding the missing actor deepens, Colt soon finds himself ensnared in a sinister plot that pushes him to the edge of a fall more dangerous than any stunt.
We got drugs, bad guys, and murder.
What's an ice crime? Are you saying ice cream or ice crime?
Ice crime.
Okay, it's just with your accent, it's hard. I'm not reporting an ice cream.
Yes, no, I get that.
Okay.
Now, this will be Gosling's first big role since his acclaimed performance as Ken in the movie Barbie. Also starring in this film is Hannah Waddingham, known for her role in Ted Lasso.
One last stunt. Going down in a blaze of glory.
Fall Guy is out in theaters everywhere, including here in Prince George. As of this morning, the lowest gas price in Prince George was sitting at $1.64.9 per liter at Costco. The lowest price in the province right now is in Salmon Arm at $1.63.9 per liter. Manitoba currently has the lowest fuel prices on average in the country at $1.42 per liter, while BC has an average price of $1.94.7 per liter.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
Well, it was do or die for the Prince George Cougars last night as they faced elimination in enemy territory. But like this team has done all year, they didn't back down and played arguably their best game of the series against the Portland Winterhawks. We let Nick Merrick and Cole Waldy take it away with yesterday's Game 5 recap.
Right over to Stefan. Puck right wing, Alsher shooting, rebound, backhand, score! The captain gets the party started in Game 5. 1-0 Portland, 7:03 into period one.
But Kometz gets it back, finds Zimmer left circle. Here's Zimmer, he scores! Cohen Zimmer fires it by Spooner, and the game is tied at 1. Cohen Zimmer trying to race his way and goes to Becker. Back to Zimmer. Holds. Fire scores! Cohen Zimmer does it again! Cougars lead 2-1 late in the first. Holds. Vallis top of the circle. Walks in. Fires. Goes over top of the goal. Levy bounce for Nazay. Trying to jam it in. Lang whacks in. He scores! Hunter Lang. Power play goal. Cougars lead 3-1. A lively bounce off the Enmore, shoots in the middle, and the big fella back in the lineup makes it 3-1 Prince George. Portland, it comes to Jugnath, the midpoint, he mishandled it, and now Strome's going to take it away. Strome up the right wing side, has Becker racing up the middle. Here's Strome right circle, holds, Becker scores! Andre Becker off a great pass from Strome. Cougars lead Game 5, 4-1. Down. Now he's hurrying on over there at Southern. He does. Boreavalis tangled up. Is this going to be a penalty shot, maybe? Let's see. It is. Boreavalis is awarded a penalty shot. Can he make it 5-1? Vallis up the right wing on Jan Spooner. Boreavalis. Oh, shoots, scores! Boreavalis on a penalty shot, and the Cougars lead 5-1. Comes out of Strome, spins it front. Henry Becker, Fanwa gets it back though. Makes the cross-ice feed. Dereniak scores!
Prince George Cougars have now won Game 5. Game 6 goes to the CN Center Monday night.
We were really talking about our starts, right? It was, where they were getting their momentum against us in their building. And they got that first goal. I was really happy with how we responded to that. Ravensburger made a couple big saves, and when you have that, our team found some confidence, they found their footing, and we played a real strong game.
Well, the Prince George Cougars got a special welcome back to the CN Centre today from fans. Lineups were out the door for people trying to get tickets for Game 6 on Monday, and it's safe to say this city is thrilled to host another playoff game. Take a look.
Go amazing. Like when I felt a little bit weird when Portland scored the first goal, but then after that, it was all smooth sailing for the Cougars, and we played our best, we played our hearts out, and let's go Cougars! Woo!
Oh, very excited. Haven't seen an elimination game here for a long time. Not elimination game, but a possibility. But Game 7 will be elimination, hopefully, for Portland.
Very nice, because it's nice to see a Game 6 coming back from Portland, and hopefully we can kick some butt tomorrow Monday night, and let's game on.
It's so exciting, and that's what winning brings, right? Everyone wants to be part of a winner. It's been a long time around here. We're excited to give it to them.
Good evening again, everyone. We are entering the weekend with quite a lot of instability, that's for sure. So we may see some breaks here and there, a little bit of spots of sunshine throughout the region, but a lot of the time it'll be mainly cloudy, and we do have a chance of showers coming our way again going into Sunday. So for this evening, again, it'll be gusty easterly winds up to about 40 kilometers an hour. But this is a look back, and again, we had some sunshine out there, which was great earlier today, so we'll take that. But you can see there's lots of action happening out here. So we are expected to see some little spots of precipitation still this evening, but primarily on Sunday is really the timing on the next system for us. And so the future cast over the next little bit doesn't look too bad, but there's Sundays. You can see that next system really pushing into the province, and that will bring us more cloud cover and a good chance of showers, especially for the later half of the weekend. It is quite warm again tomorrow down through the southern interior, Okanagan, even the south coast picking up some really nice temperatures, but certainly not going to see a lot of sunshine. We are looking at mainly cloudy conditions in and around most of the province. Up in the Peace, not so bad, mainly cloudy and a few sunny breaks. And then in the north coast and inland to Terrace, looking good. It's actually been quite warm inland for the last day or so. 17 Mackenzie. We do have a few breaks in the clouds expected for you, the same for Burns Lake, but everywhere else across the region, primarily clouds will be really in the mix. It'll be the overcast skies that we witness all day long. 20 degrees, though, down by Quesnel, so temperatures are still quite strong, but we're really going to see things sort of back off just a little bit going into early next week, and then it's later next week, the timing on this really big ridge of high pressure that's going to build. So quick snapshot of the country. We've got some mixed precipitation here and there, or mixed conditions rather here and there. Some showers, but better temperatures. Regina, over further east, it's a lot of cloud cover everywhere you look. So a chance of showers is early into our week, as well as I mentioned, sort of Sunday, the timing on that next system, and that will hang around into about Monday, Tuesday for many areas. So here's the extended, and you'll see that change right here for Burns Lake through the afternoon on Sunday, and looking at temperatures dipping just a little bit. Still quite cool overnight tonight as well. Mainly clear and cold tonight, 16 your day tomorrow, mostly cloudy. There may be a few sunny breaks, though, to enjoy throughout the afternoon. 17 and 18 for Mackenzie, great temperature pattern, and then it drops on Monday before building back up later next week, but +1 expected overnight. So again, quite chilly tonight. Increasing cloud as we go through McBride, and that will be the case tomorrow. Overcast skies for most of your day, some sunshine on Sunday potentially, and then back to a chance of showers on Monday. Quesnel will be pretty cloudy for the next couple of days, although warm, and pretty much the same for us. So there it is there. We've got, we're not showing in our graphics, but we are anticipating a chance of showers on Sunday through the afternoon hours especially. But yes, very cloudy through our Saturday, but not too bad. Temperatures will sit around 17 degrees still, and even into Sunday looking great for our temperatures, 18. Early next week, we see a bit of a change, a drop in temperatures. It'll be later next week, as I mentioned, particularly going into next weekend, if you want to look that far ahead, that we see high pressure build, and lots of really, really warm temperatures are on the way.
CKPG Sports is delivered by Domino's. Try one of our delicious stuffed cheesy breads, paired up with chicken, pizza, pasta, or dessert for just $8.99 per item.
A local archer is off to El Salvador this weekend to compete in the Youth and Masters Pan American Championships. Anthony Correa got a chance to catch up with Seth Johnson and get his thoughts on such a big accomplishment.
Seth Johnson wasn't always into archery. He actually grew up doing motocross sports. It wasn't until his dad suggested the sport that Seth really considered it.
I've been in archery for 2 years. My dad got me started in it.
got me shooting a bow after motocross. So quit that and yeah, started archery, went to the GOP, ended up liking it a lot. So just continued with it and now here we are.
Off the bat, he was a natural. His dad, being a former archer himself, saw the talent in his son. And with days of training at the outdoor range in their backyard, Seth soon was competing at a high level, following in his father's footsteps.
Super proud of him. Yeah, at only 15 years old, only shooting 2 years, and he's already going shooting international tournaments. Like it's pretty impressive. Yeah, no, I'm pretty proud of him.
Now Seth is off to El Salvador to compete in the Youth Masters Pan American Championships. He'll compete in the U18 men's compound category at just 15 years old, and is excited to arch on the international stage, facing every country's best.
It's pretty awesome. So yeah, hopefully I can go down there and bring home Canada and Prince George a medal. That'd be pretty cool.
And the best way to prepare for an event like this is shooting the bow as much as possible. Get the feel and prepare yourself for the different conditions you might be competing in.
Lots of practice every day for a couple hours at least. I have 50 meters at home, so I can shoot at home a lot too. So yeah, you just focus on one thing at a time, like release or keeping your follow through good.
The championships are scheduled from May 6th to May 12th, with Seth one of 30 Canadians chosen to compete. Anthony Correa, CKPG News.
A big event for Special Olympics BC as Prince George will be held tomorrow as rhythmic gymnastic regional qualifiers take place in our city. The event will be held at the Connaught Youth Centre from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Special Olympics athletes from Prince George and Quesnel will be competing to represent Region 8 in next year's Special Olympics BC Summer Games. The competition will see over 20 athletes competing at different levels, and each routine will use a different apparatus: rope, clubs, balls, ribbon, hoop, and floor. The routines are new this year and after changing every 8 years, so it has been a challenge for the athletes to learn and memorize them. But for a few athletes, it will be their first time competing, and spectators are welcome to watch.
Saturday, tomorrow, is our regional meet for rhythmic gymnastics. The athletes have to participate if they want to qualify to go on to provincial games, which will be in Prince George in 2025. So we'd love to have people come. It'll probably be from around 12:30 to probably 3:30, 4. And we'd love to have spectators, and we're at the Connaught Youth Centre.
Clutch performances are always important in the playoffs. Well, we'll show you 3 clutch plays from the NBA, NHL playoffs, all in tonight's CKP3.
We begin with New York advancing.
Get it in, Brunson. Oubre forces him to give it up. Hart hands it to him. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Brunson, drive, swing, Hart. He connects! Huge 3! Next lead! Floats it. Heel throws it up. It's off. Hart rebounds and it's over.
A clutch 3 from Josh Hart and stellar play in the final minutes, and the New York Knicks will be moving on to round 2. Next, Willie Stiles breaks the ice.
And now Nylander's got it. Twisting away from Beecher in the final minute of the second. Scores! William Nylander through traffic.
A solo effort by William Nylander puts Toronto ahead in Game 6, keeping the Leafs alive for the moment. And he doubles down.
Away goes Knives. Nylander, breakaway to Trent. Scores! William Nylander doubles down.
Without Austin Matthews, the Toronto Maple Leafs force a Game 7 on the back of William Nylander. Will this be the year Toronto slays the Dragon? We'll find out later, but for now, they take top spot in tonight's CKP3.
Hello from the CKPG Today side. A great end to the week coming up over here, including a look towards the weekend. That's what we do best. Northern FanCon, its 10th anniversary here in Prince George. Going to get a couple of special guests in the studio today. I won't speculate on who they are because I want to keep them a surprise. I want to keep you watching. Plus primetime wrestling. I don't know if you heard about the matchups this weekend, but Hacksaw Jim Duggan's coming to town. The Mountie, Jacques Rougeau, also coming to town. Hell, they might even be coming into the studio today. Got to watch the show to find out more. So yeah, FanCon this weekend here in Prince George. Over to you on the other side. You looking forward to it? What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I think it'd be pretty cool to see either Bill Pullman or Dave Foley. I think if they have the opportunity in town, it'd be a great chance to see those two characters. And turning to a local legend now, after 34 years in the broadcast industry, a familiar voice on the radio in Prince George is signing off for the final time today. Rick Kelly is retiring from 101.3 The River, and I had the chance to chat with Rick before his final show.
When you retire, what will be your theme song? Because I'm figuring out my theme song.
If you've listened to the radio in Prince George at any time over the last 34 years, Rick Kelly's voice will be familiar to you. And after 34 years, on Friday, May 3rd, Rick Kelly is retiring from 101.3 The River. In a conversation before his last show, Rick told me how he first got into the business.
Getting into radio for me was always about the music. There was always, it was the first place to go for music because there really was nowhere else to go. It was the only game in town. So if you wanted to listen to music, you wanted to hear hockey games, it was all on the radio. So radio consumed me, and I grew up listening to the radio, and I wanted to be part of that world.
After being on the air for over 3 decades, Rick said to me that over the years he has realized the impact that his show has had on listeners.
You realize sometimes that you really do touch people, and I had some nice emails and texts from listeners who used to listen to me when they were growing up, and radio again was a big part of their world, and how much of an impact I had on them. Things like that really are so meaningful in the end. Not only being an entertainer, but really feeling like you really became part of somebody's lives and you changed it for them. So that's a good feeling.
Darren Coogan, a radio host on 99.3 Rewind Radio, is one of Rick's longtime colleagues and a good friend, and he told me what he will miss the most about Rick not being in the office.
I think what I'll miss the most is probably watching or listening to him talking to himself. And I don't mean on the radio. Like when he's doing stuff off air and he's sitting at a computer, he's often just talking to himself. And he doesn't realize it. So every now and again you go, what? And he'll go, huh? And it's always the inside joke. You're talking to yourself again. Oh, sorry. So that's just one quirk that will be lost within the walls.
And one final message from Rick Kelly.
I'm grateful that listeners would listen to me all these years, that I'm taken back. I'm overwhelmed by the whole experience. It's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you.
On behalf of all of us at CKPG and Pattison Media, thank you, Rick. Adam Burles, CKPG News. Yes, thank you, Rick. And we'll miss you around here, that's for sure. Don't be a stranger. And that's all the time we have tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Tonight, your last look is a fish tank at the Pediatrics Department at UHNBC. Have a good night, everyone.